Hi, I'm Andy Burrows with PCT TV, and I'm here today with Matt Cooper, who's the Business Development and Marketing Director at NIHR Clinical Research Network. Thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
First up, I'd like to start with quite a general question. What do you see are the biggest challenges we're facing today in clinical trials?
I mean, I think really with the greater level of personalisation of medicine and the trials related to them, it's finding the right patients for those right trials particularly in those niche or perhaps rare disease areas. So in England, in the NHS, we've got great services, particularly around some of those rarer areas, and it's really about making sure that we can target the trials to those right individuals. And the NIHR Clinical Research Network is all about that, trying to find the right trials to the right people and directing patients to good trials.
And I suppose with the challenges, a lot of people at the moment are hoping that technology will be one of the big things that help those. Which technologies do you see as having a biggest impact?
I mean, a huge one is the whole digital agenda, which is going on at the moment. So particularly about using digital technologies to make it easier for patients to both find out about clinical research and secondly to participate. And along with that goes the piece about linking data records together. So again, in the NHS, we've got a really rich data history out there of the number of patient records, a single healthcare provider with a single NHS number which links every individual. It's about making the best of those data linkages to pull the data together and make it as easy as possible for the patients to participate in those trials. So the whole digital piece is very big, and also trying to offer patients choice. So as part of their passage through the National Health Service, make trials part and parcel of that standard care. So having systems, again, whether it's web-based, digital systems, so they can go and find out about clinical trials happening in their particular disease area.
Just making it as easy as possible for the patient.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think a big part with technology and more general is partnering and partnerships within trials. Do you see that there's any new trends within partnering strategy?
I mean, I think more and more we're seeing companies are starting to do more partnering, particularly in the past. Some companies have been quite conservative in the way they've looked at their portfolios and pipelines and have perhaps kept most of the work in-house. Because of the expansion of the drug discovery side of things, the companies that can't do everything themselves and they're looking for more partnership. And again, the networks such as ours are out there to be able to make it easier for companies to partner with academic groups to look at those molecules that they've got and try and find out really good data with them alongside the company's main R&D thrusts. And particular consortia now between different companies and academic groups, so companies are working together more in that, particularly in the pre-competitive space. Again, in England we support 30 national specialty groups, which are key groupings of clinical experts, and what we try and do is link those individuals with companies that are looking to try and partner with particular compounds to try and get some really good science behind some of their molecules.
Right, and so I guess the big question is, how do you see clinical trials changing in the next 5 years, say?
I mean, the digital agenda is going to be really big, the whole personalisation, but for us the other piece is about the real world data, real world trials. We're going to see more of a trend towards that, particularly I think as data and healthcare records get more linked together. The ability to do really good, even sort of randomised real-world evidence trials will be key, and countries like the UK are really well placed to take on board those types of studies. So the Salford Lung study has been a really good example of that, and it's been globally recognised as a unique and innovative way to do these real-world evidence trials. So I think we'll see more of a shift in that direction to look at not only getting efficacy data but effectiveness data, so that the trials are going to be answering the questions that at the end of the day the payers are going to want to know. So it's not just does the drug work, is it safe, but is it going to work in a wider population and sort of the healthcare benefits out of that as well.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot about data and what to do with that data. It's such a hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the more that the patient becomes empowered as well is the ability for them to say they want their data to be used more regularly, and for data sets to be linked together. So from their healthcare records and looking at other data sets that are around, sort of say in sort of cancer registry data, etc. to make a richer picture. But you're having the patient more in control of how they get involved in trials and where and when those trials are taking place.
That's great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you.